Wired but tired. This is when your body feels totally exhausted, but your nervous system just won't let you relax. Feeling wired but tired, it's not a personality flaw, it's a nervous system state, and it tells me that your body has been working really hard to keep you going each day. If you are feeling exhausted, yet you also feel unable to switch yourself off, if your body feels heavy and flat, but your mind, it just keeps running, if you fall into bed hoping to rest, but instead your sleep feels light, feels broken, it feels unrefreshing, if you then wake up unrefreshed and tired before the day has even begun, wondering why you just can't seem to sleep deeply the way you used to or the way you know you should, and quietly you're starting to question yourself and wondering what's wrong with me. If this sounds familiar, I want you to understand something that you may not have even considered before. What you are experiencing, it's not about poor discipline or a failure to care for yourself. And it's certainly not about simply getting older now. Let me explain how. This happens when a capable, high-functioning nervous system, just like the one that you have, has been under steady pressure for far too long. I'm not referring to dramatic stress, I'm referring to that constant, chronic demand that tells your body to stay on high alert all the time. When your brain stays watchful, it's doing its best to keep you safe and protect you from perceived danger. And so now rest, it no longer feels safe for your body anymore. And this is why pushing yourself harder, it doesn't help. And why going to bed earlier, it often changes absolutely nothing. So the conversation now is not about willpower and doing more, because willpower is short-lived. It is about rhythm, it's about regulation, it's about building safety in your body. I'm Jodie Studley, naturopath, metabolic balance practitioner and emotional dynamics coach. Follow me now or comment below, because we are about to dive deeper into how you can restore calm and sleep and metabolic balance in yourself so that you can feel steady, rested and at home in your own body again. So let's begin by taking the pressure off you straight away. If you're wired but tired, let me explain how nothing has gone wrong inside of you. This is not some failure of character, not lack of discipline, or not about missing motivation, things that somehow we need to find to make ourselves stronger. What you're experiencing, it actually makes sense in the context of the life that you've been living and the demands that your body has been responding to. So most people are told that poor sleep, constant fatigue, and that restless edge at night means that you're doing something wrong. We're told to try harder, to be more consistent, to optimize our routines, to tighten up our self-care habits. That advice, it's not malicious, but it is incomplete. It assumes that your body is calm and simply just needs better habits laid on top of what you're already doing. For many people, especially high-functioning women and men who have carried a lot of responsibility for a long time, that assumption, it doesn't hold true. Wired but tired is not a contradiction, it's a pattern. And once you see it as a pattern rather than a personality flaw, the conversation, it changes. And when the conversation changes, we open up the opportunity for something different to what you already have right here, right now. At a physical level, what is really happening, it's not a lack of energy, but a misalignment in how your body's actually using and protecting your energy. You see, your nervous system is designed to keep you safe, not designed to keep you relaxed. So when life applies this constant, steady pressure over months, over years, even if that pressure looks normal from the outside and it actually causes your body to adapt by staying alert or constantly switched on. Hormones that are meant to rise and fall across the day, they begin to lose their rhythm. Your cortisol hormone does not switch off clearly. Adrenaline does not fully stand down. Blood sugar becomes more reactive, not only because you may not be eating correctly for your own body, but because your system prioritizes energy availability and vigilance to keep you safe. And this is why someone can feel physically exhausted, but still mentally switched on. Your muscles are tired, your cells are begging for repair, but your brain is still scanning for safety. Sleep becomes lighter, much more easily interrupted or unrefreshing. Your body's not receiving this clear signal that it's okay and fully safe to rest. From your body's perspective, staying semi-alert feels like protection and not dysfunction. But what is important to understand here is that this state of hypervigilance, it doesn't develop overnight, it builds slowly. It often develops in capable people who cope well, they adapt quickly and they push through without complaint. The very traits that make someone reliable, responsible and resilient. If you want something done, ask a busy person. So often the same traits that keep these are the same traits that keep the nervous system switched on for far too long. This is, we're thinking here about the generic dieting, the lifestyle advice. This begins to fall apart here because we're being told to go to bed earlier, practice better sleep hygiene or add another calming ritual. Yet really this just assumes that your own nervous system is already is ready to receive those sorts of inputs. Even though for some people those strategies do help, for others they actually change very little. Not because the advice is wrong, but because it is not matched to the state of your nervous system, so it's not going to work. One person's wired but tired pattern might be driven by long-term psychological stress. Another's might be shaped by metabolic instability, hormonal transitions, inflammation, gut-brain signalling, or years of just pushing harder with under-recovery. Two people can look identical on the surface and respond completely different to the same advice. So context matters. Personal history matters. Your body's current perception of safety, it matters. And this is why one-size-fits-all approaches often only lead to more frustration. People follow the rules faithfully and they still feel broken when the promised results, they don't arrive. So over time, that frustration, it quietly begins to turn inwards on yourself, and then you assume that you must be the problem. There's also a psychological layer to this that deserves some gentle attention. Many people hold tight to effort-based models of health because more effort feels constructive and more effort feels controllable. Doing more, being stricter or following rules gives us a sense of feeling safe in a body that feels uncertain. And letting go of those models can feel unsettling, as though you're giving up that self-responsibility or lowering your standards somehow. But in reality, this is not about doing less, it's about doing what is appropriate and supportive for your own physiology rather than what looks virtuous on the outside. When your nervous system has been carrying a heavy load, the idea of rest can even feel uncomfortable, right? Slowing down can trigger this restlessness, this guilt, this sense of falling behind. But remember, this is not weakness, it is conditioning. Your body has learned that staying on high alert equals feeling safe. Understanding this process removes the self-blame. It allows your curiosity to replace self-judgment. So instead of asking what's wrong with me, the question becomes, what has my body been responding to? And how has it been trying to protect me? And this is where personalised care actually becomes essential. Not as a quick fix and not as another set of rules, but as a way of understanding your own unique patterns in your body. So when we look at the nervous system regulation, metabolic health, sleep rhythm, emotional load, when we look at it all together, a much clearer picture emerges, one that honours the intelligence of your own body rather than fighting it. This depth of work is what I do. I help people understand why their body's responding the way it is and what has your body's been asking for underneath the symptoms. There's no rush to this work, no blame, no judgment, just clarity, context, and a steady return to nervous system safety and rhythm. If you're wired but tired, your body's not failing you, it's doing its best with the information and the conditions it's been given. And when we learn to listen properly rather than simply pushing harder and doing more, then you open up the opportunity for your body to respond in ways that actually feel surprisingly natural. And that understanding alone can be a powerful place to begin. Cherish yourself. You deserve it.